Picture this: Florence, 1490. Leonardo da Vinci sits in his workshop, sketching detailed instructions for how light should fall across a face, how shadows should blend imperceptibly into highlights. He's not painting yet, he's writing prompts, specific, technical prompts that will guide his hand to create something the world has never seen. Now fast forward to today. A designer sits at a laptop, typing detailed instructions into an AI system about lighting, composition, and style. Sound familiar? Here's the question that might just blow your mind. Was Leonardo da Vinci the original prompt engineer? Welcome to a journey through time, where we're about to discover that the artificial intelligence revolution we're living through right now isn't actually new. We're walking a path that Renaissance masters carved out over 500 years ago. Today we're diving into the fusion of art, science, and disruptive technology that defined the Renaissance, and comparing it to the AI revolution reshaping our world at this very moment. By the end of this video, you'll understand whether we're standing on the edge of a new golden age or simply repeating the same mistakes, the same fears, and the same controversies that our ancestors faced centuries ago. The Renaissance wasn't just about pretty paintings and marble sculptures. It was built on three revolutionary technologies that completely disrupted European society: the printing press, linear perspective, and anatomical studies through dissection. Each one sparked panic, controversy, and fierce resistance. But each one ultimately unleashed human creativity in ways no one could have imagined. Sound familiar? Let's start in 1440, when Johannes Gutenberg unveiled his movable type printing press. Before this invention, books were painstakingly hand-copied by scribes, making them expensive luxuries accessible only to the wealthy and the church. The printing press changed everything overnight. Within 50 years, book costs dropped by 97%. Think about that. 97% cost reduction in half a century. But here's where it gets interesting. The immediate reaction wasn't celebration, it was panic. Scribes saw their livelihoods evaporating. The Catholic Church worried about heresy spreading unchecked without their control over what got published. People feared that democratizing knowledge would erode established authority and create chaos. Does this sound eerily familiar? Today, artificial intelligence is compressing similar cost reductions instantly. Visual content that once required hours of skilled labor can now be generated in seconds. And just like the Renaissance, we're seeing the exact same panic. The exact same fears about job loss and loss of control. Now here's the pattern we need to understand. Throughout history, disruption always creates panic before it creates progress. Always. Let's move to our second revolution. In the early 1400s, architect Filippo Brunelleschi pioneered linear perspective, a mathematical technique that allowed artists to create convincing three-dimensional illusions on flat surfaces. Parallel lines converged at a vanishing point on the horizon, and suddenly European art shifted from medieval abstraction toward photorealistic representation. This wasn't just an artistic technique, it was mathematics meeting creativity, science informing art. Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo embodied this fusion perfectly. They dissected cadavers to understand anatomy. They studied optics and light. They used mathematical grids to achieve perfect proportions. They were artists and scientists with no boundary between the disciplines. So here's a hot take that might spark some debate. Would Michelangelo use Midjourney if he were alive today? Absolutely, without question. He already used the Renaissance equivalent, mathematical grids and precise measurements to plan his compositions before touching marble or paint. AI art generators aren't replacing human creativity. They're tools, just like perspective grids were tools. The vision, the intention, the creative direction, That still comes from the human mind. But wait, let's go deeper into what made these Renaissance masters so extraordinary. Andreas Vesalius revolutionized medicine by prioritizing direct observation through dissection over ancient theories. His landmark text from 1543 featured detailed anatomical illustrations that were mass-produced through printing technology, ensuring accurate reproduction and wide distribution. Knowledge wasn't locked away anymore. It was spreading, evolving, accelerating. And then there's Leonardo. 13,000 pages of notebooks. 7,000 of them survive today. Filled with anatomical drawings, engineering sketches for flying machines, studies of hydraulics, observations of light and nature. Inventions that were centuries ahead of the technology needed to build them. Here's a mind-bending parallel. Leonardo's inventions sat in his notebooks, waiting for future technology to catch up. Today, AI algorithms are being developed that await more powerful computing to reach their full potential. Both represent human imagination outpacing current capability. Both blur the boundary between art and science, between creativity and technical precision. Now let's address the elephant in the room, the controversy, the fear, the resistance. Because if we're going to understand whether we're entering a golden age or repeating history's mistakes, we need to confront this head-on. When the printing press emerged, it sparked fierce debates about authenticity and authority. Who gets to decide what's true? Who controls the narrative? Fast forward to today. Over 4,700 artists have joined lawsuits against companies like Midjourney, arguing that AI models trained on copyrighted artwork without consent amount to intellectual property theft. The 2025 Christie's AI art auction ignited social media firestorms with hashtags like artist rights and no to AI. The core anxiety is identical to Renaissance debates. Does this technology devalue genuine human creativity? Does it remove something essential, the struggle, the intention, the consciousness behind creation? Here's the myth we need to bust. People feared the printing press would destroy more than it would create, but it didn't. It created entire new industries. It expanded literacy across continents. It enabled the scientific revolution and the Enlightenment. Yes, some scribal jobs disappeared, but countless new opportunities emerged that no one in 1440 could have imagined. The same pattern is unfolding now. Tools don't remove the human element. They amplify it when we choose to use them wisely. So let's talk about what actually makes us human in an age of powerful tools. During the Renaissance, new technologies didn't replace human vision, they required it. Leonardo didn't just use linear perspective. He understood the mathematics behind it and chose when to break the rules for artistic effect. His technique of sfumato, those soft, almost imperceptible transitions between colors and tones, came from scientific understanding of how light behaves, combined with masterful artistic execution. He was, in the most literal sense, a prompt engineer. He gave himself detailed technical instructions, how to layer glazes, how to blend edges, what atmospheric effects to create. Then he executed those prompts with skill honed over decades. Today, AI functions the same way. It needs human prompts, human curation, human creative direction. The technology is a force multiplier for human creativity, not a replacement for it. This raises an interesting question I want you to think about. If you could bring one Renaissance artist into the age of AI, who would it be and what would they create? Leonardo with access to neural networks? Michelangelo with 3D modeling software? Brunelleschi with architectural visualization tools? Drop your answers in the comments. I genuinely want to know what you think. Here's what really matters as we stand at this crossroads. The Renaissance took centuries to unfold. The printing press was invented in 1440, but its full impact on society took generations to manifest. We're experiencing that same magnitude of transformation compressed into years. That's the key difference. Not the nature of the disruption, but the speed. Yet the similarities are striking. The same fears about job loss, the same questions about authenticity, the same creative explosion happening alongside the controversy. Even the legal frameworks are evolving in parallel. The first copyright law emerged in 1486 in Venice, precisely because printing technology created new questions about intellectual property ownership. We're in that exact same legal evolution phase right now with AI and training data sets. So here we are, the epic question that might define our generation. Will the AI revolution spark a new renaissance, or will it destroy what makes us human? Here's what history teaches us. The answer depends entirely on us. Tools amplify human intention, whether that intention is creative or destructive, liberating or controlling. The Renaissance masters didn't let new technology intimidate them. They embraced it with curiosity, with experimentation, with a willingness to break boundaries and challenge conventions. Leonardo filled 13,000 pages with ideas, most of which would never be realized in his lifetime. He didn't let that stop him. He explored, he questioned, he pushed against the limits of what was possible. That's the spirit we need now. So here's my challenge to you. What would you create if you approached AI with a Renaissance mind? With Leonardo's insatiable curiosity? With Michelangelo's refusal to accept limitations? What boundaries would you break? What would you explore? Share your thoughts in the comments. Better yet, create a response video showing what you'd make. Let's start a conversation about how we can harness these tools to amplify the best of human creativity rather than diminish it. Because history doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it sure does rhyme. And right now, we're writing verses that echo across 500 years. Let's make sure they're worth singing.